Imagine an autonomous boat with like zero humans on board, using AI to navigate the open ocean and driving directly into a combat zone to pull a downed Apache helicopter crew out of the water.
Oh, wow.
Right. And now imagine that vessel wasn't built in some secretive Silicon Valley lab, but right here on the Texas coast.
I mean, it sounds like a scene ripped straight out of a science fiction movie, but it's happening right now, and it's totally reshaping our local economy.
Yeah, it really is. Well, welcome to the Texas Night Show. Today is Thursday, July 16th, 2026. Whether you're, winding down your day or just jumping into your evening, we're here to take a deep dive into the state's biggest news.
Exactly.
Our mission is simple, really, to cut through the daily noise and get you fully informed on the most consequential developments across Texas over the last 48 hours.
And we have a lot of ground to cover tonight. I mean, we're looking at a state that is moving incredibly fast, grappling with that friction between explosive growth and just, well, everyday affordability.
Yeah, right at the top of the list. First up, we're unpacking Governor Greg Abbott's brand new proposals targeting the skyrocketing costs of your home and car insurance.
Which is huge.
Then we've got fresh movement in the Texas U.S. Senate race. We'll also check in on the Hill Country, where rising floodwaters are putting year-old safety laws to the ultimate test.
And then on the business side, we're breaking down a massive, six-figure OSHA fine down in Brazoria County. Plus, we'll dig into the launch of that cutting-edge Texas shipyard you just mentioned.
Yep, and we'll wrap it all up with some quick hits on Texas college hoops and exactly what you should be watching for this weekend in South Texas.
Sounds good.
So let's get right into it, starting at the intersection of Texas politics and your wallet. Let's talk about insurance.
Oh, man. It is the ultimate kitchen table issue right now.
Right.
Like, if you own a home or drive a car in this state, you know exactly how painful these premium renewals have become.
They're brutal.
We're seeing policies jump so dramatically year over year. And, the insurance carriers point to the escalating costs of replacement parts for cars, the rising cost of lumber and roofing materials, plus, obviously, the increased frequency of severe weather events hitting the state.
Yeah, it puts an unprecedented strain on household budgets.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Wednesday.
Right.
Governor Greg Abbott was in Houston for a campaign stop, and he rolled out a new set of initiatives. I was reading a breakdown from Houston Public Media and the Era earlier today, and the stated goal of these proposals is to firmly limit the growth of both home and car insurance costs across the state.
But here is where we kind of have to separate the campaign trail from the actual legislative mechanics,
Yeah, definitely.
Affordability is the centerpiece of a re-election year, obviously, because it's the most visible pain point for voters right now.
Oh, 100%.
What's fascinating about these proposals is that while the intention to provide relief is very clear, the actual engine to drive those changes is still, well, undefined.
Yeah.
We're looking at early stage initiatives, not finalized, actionable policy.
So, looking past the campaign rhetoric for a moment, what should an average Texas homeowner or driver realistically expect to happen next? Like, are we going to see a dip in our bills anytime soon?
Realistically, you have to watch the policy details and probably temper your expectations.
So no sudden rebate check in the mail next month.
Yeah, definitely do not expect a check next month. If these initiatives require sweeping legislative action, we're waiting for lawmakers to reconvene in the next session.
Which takes time.
Exactly. And if the plan relies on the state's regulatory agencies to enforce stricter caps on rate hikes, we have to see how the major insurance carriers react.
Oh, like, do they comply or do they threaten to pull coverage out of high-risk areas like the coast?
Right. It's a complex, high-stakes chess match.
And, that chess match mentality is bleeding right into the broader statewide elections, too. Just look at the Texas U.S. Senate race between Ken Paxton and James Tellerico. I saw a piece in the Texas Tribune detailing that today. Paxton's campaign officially stated that he intends to debate Tellerico.
But the logistics happening behind the scenes are what make this really interesting.
Right, because they didn't just accept a time and place and call it a day.
Far from it. The Paxton camp noted that they received the exact same debate invitations from 3 different Texas media consortiums.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so the offers are just sitting there on the table. But by holding back on choosing a specific host or a specific date right now, they retain maximum leverage over the format, the moderators, and, the rules of engagement.
Yeah, it's a procedural step, obviously, but for voters waiting to see these two on stage together, it's a definitive signal.
Totally.
It means a debate is actively being negotiated, not just brushed off.
Right. Now, that tension between political promises and actual execution isn't just an election issue. You see it on the ground when the weather turns too. Look at what's happening in the hill country this week.
Yeah, heavy rain out there is always a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
The geography of the region is beautiful, but it's effectively flash flood alley. You have very shallow soil sitting on top of hard limestone.
Right. There's nowhere for the water to go.
Exactly. When heavy rain hits, the ground simply cannot absorb it, and the runoff turns dry creek beds into raging rivers in like minutes.
And following some truly devastating, deadly floods a year ago, the state passed a massive overhaul of its flood preparedness laws.
Yeah.
Now, with the waters rising again, local officials are telling KUT and the Texas Standard that those changes are actually working.
Let's clarify what's actually working, though. Yeah. We aren't talking about massive new dams or diversion channels yet.
Right.
To me, it feels like patching a roof during a drizzle while waiting for the full replacement. These immediate safety and alert changes are helping right now, but the heavy-duty infrastructure work is going to take a lot longer.
I like that analogy, but I would push it even further.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like installing a state-of-the-art smoke detector while you wait for the contractors to build a fireproof roof.
Oh, that's good.
The legislative overhaul funded enhanced, highly localized early warning systems. It allowed emergency responders to coordinate on unified digital platforms instead of trying to patch radio signals across county lines.
So the physical danger, the actual floodwater is still very much there, but the state's ability to get you out of its path has demonstrably improved.
Exactly.
Because the heavy infrastructure designed to actually redirect and manage those floodwaters is still years away from completion.
Right. But these quick deploy safety measures are saving lives today. It really highlights the friction of rapid growth, I think.
Definitely.
Texas is expanding so fast, trying to build out infrastructure to keep up, but doing that safely is incredibly difficult. Which leads us to a massive story developing down in Brazoria County.
Yeah, this one is a harsh reality check on the physical risks involved in our residential boom. OSHA just issued a $343,000 fine to a Houston utility contractor, Blazy Construction Services.
That is a staggering number.
It is. To put that in perspective, OSHA doesn't just hand out $250,000 in fines for a minor first-time accident.
No, not at all.
A fine of that magnitude usually signals willful or repeated violations of core safety protocols.
Exactly. And this investigation stems from a severe excavation collapse in Alvin.
Right.
A worker was down in a trench, installing sewer and water pipes for a brand new residential development, and the soil just gave way. He had to be hospitalized.
You really have to think about the physics of a trench collapse to understand why the Department of Labor comes down this hard.
Oh, absolutely.
We aren't talking about a sandbox cave-in. A single cubic yard of dirt can weigh as much as a car, around 3,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, so if a trench isn't properly shored up or sloped and it collapses, the worker isn't just buried. They are crushed by the sheer suffocating weight of the earth.
And consider the broader context here, too. When you look at the sheer volume of residential developments popping up around Houston and stretching down into Brazoria County, the pressure on these contractors to lay foundational utilities fast is just immense.
It's nonstop.
Right. So this fine is a very deliberate warning shot across the bow of the entire construction sector.
Yeah, it's a loud message that speed and compressed project timelines simply cannot come at the cost of the people literally laying the groundwork for Texas's expansion.
It puts the human cost of all this rapid development into stark perspective.
It really does. Now, that tension between traditional heavy industry and rapid advancement is playing out in a totally different, highly futuristic way over on the coast.
Right, going back to our intro.
Yeah. The New York Times had a piece on this that is absolutely fascinating. Saronic Technologies is opening a new shipyard right here in Texas.
But, and this is the crazy part, this isn't for cargo ships or luxury yachts.
No.
Saronic builds autonomous drone boats vessels that are actively being deployed in the Iran war right now.
This goes back to that wild detail I mentioned at the top of the deep dive. Just last month, one of their naval drones was instrumental in rescuing the crew of a downed Apache helicopter.
Which is incredible.
We're talking about a boat with no human pilot on board, using sensors and artificial intelligence, navigating into a treacherous zone to pull pilots out of the water.
Historically, if you said defense manufacturing, you pictured assembly lines in the Midwest building tanks or aerospace facilities in Southern California engineering stealth bombers.
Right.
Traditional shipbuilding is often viewed as a heavy legacy industry.
Right.
But what Saronic is doing is fundamentally different.
How so?
They're treating ships the way Silicon Valley treats smart cars. They write cutting-edge AI and autonomous navigation software first, and then they build a specialized hull around it.
It's brilliant when you think about it. I mean, you need the deep water access and heavy manufacturing workforce that Texas has always had.
Right.
But you're layering in advanced robotics and autonomous software. It's completely redefining what it means to be a modern defense hub.
Speaking of combining legacy experience with new platforms, there was a really quick corporate move in Plano that caught my eye.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Refilm, the major commerce platform, just named Kim Miller as their new chief marketing officer and head of global strategy.
Right. I saw that in Dallas Innovates. He's the former global customer chief at Saks.
Exactly. It's a really smart move, pulling a top-tier executive from a legacy retail giant to help navigate the digital global commerce space.
It's all about building elite teams to stay ahead of the curve,
Right.
which is actually a perfect segue to what's happening on the recruiting trail for Texas college hoops.
Ah, yeah.
The long-term strategy in college athletics right now is fascinating to watch unfold. Over on the women's side, ESPN reported that Texas just landed a massive commitment to kick off their 2027 class.
Yeah, Jayla Forbes has officially committed to the Longhorns.
This is a foundational acquisition for the program.
Oh, absolutely. Forbes is the number 13 overall player in the SC Next rankings for the class of 2027, and she's the second-ranked post player in the entire country.
And for those who don't, spend their weekends breaking down basketball film, a post player is essentially your anchor near the basket.
Right.
You need someone with size, strength, and agility who can dominate rebounds, block shots, and score tough points in the paint.
And what makes this so compelling is the chess match between the major programs. Texas securing Forbes now means they're already setting the stage for future matchups against other elite recruits, like LSU's recent commit, Caroline Bradley.
Wow.
Yeah, the coaching staff is literally building their 2027 defense today. It shows that the arms race in women's college basketball is functioning years in advance.
Meanwhile, keeping it on the hardwood,
Mm-hmm.
the Texas men's team is getting some serious national buzz before the season even tips off.
Yeah, ESPN's latest bracketology report has the men's team listed as a legitimate Final Four contender.
Really?
Yeah, explicitly calling them ahead of schedule.
That specific phrase, ahead of schedule, is
Yeah.
largely due to recent player reclassification, right?
Right, exactly.
And to clarify for everyone, a reclassification in high school sports usually means a player has accelerated their academics so they can graduate early,
Right, they skip their final year of high school and jump straight onto a college roster.
which gives the team a sudden, unexpected injection of elite talent.
It completely alters the timeline for roster development. I mean, having that kind of national expectation validates the aggressive roster construction they've been executing all off-season.
Yeah, we will definitely be tracking both programs as the season approaches.
For sure.
Finally, let's look ahead to your immediate weekend plans. If you're down in South Texas, you have a massive cultural homecoming happening right now.
Yeah, Valley Central reported that the Grammy-nominated group Grupo Frontera is holding an exclusive pop-up event in McAllen.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's right ahead of their highly anticipated hometown concerts.
They're dropping exclusive merch for the fans, too. If you want to check it out, the pop-up is located at 1224 East Yuma Avenue. It runs until 7 p.m. this Thursday evening, and if you miss it tonight, they're opening back up on Friday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
It's just so cool to see local talent that has absolutely exploded on the global stage come back and connect directly with their community like this.
It really is, which, brings us full circle today. Taking a step back and looking at everything we've unpacked, the overarching narrative of this state right now is sheer unbridled transition.
You see it everywhere. We're bringing in billion-dollar autonomous defense technology on the coast and completely reshaping global commerce in our corporate hubs.
But at the very same time, we're struggling with the foundational basics, right?
Oh, yeah.
Keeping floodwaters out of our living rooms in the hill country, protecting utility workers in the trenches of our new suburbs, and just trying to figure out how to afford the insurance premium to drive to work.
The contrast is jarring. You have state-of-the-art artificial intelligence moving in while simultaneously battling infrastructure challenges that feel like they belong in a different century.
Exactly.
It really is a state pushing the boundaries of what its economy and its geography can handle.
Yeah. And that leaves you with a question to chew on over the weekend based on everything we've covered.
Right.
With billion-dollar defense tech moving in and basic costs like insurance and flood mitigation dominating the political conversation, Texas is in a massive transitional phase. As the state's economy rockets into the future, will our infrastructure and affordability be able to keep up the pace?